prayer followed by the pledge of allegiance. Lord God, thank you for this opportunity to come together this day and ask for your hand of blessing on this meeting and help us to accomplish our work and goals. As we continue to celebrate our veterans, we ask that you bless them and their families and recognize their contributions and sacrifices. Be with those currently serving and keep them safe. As Thanksgiving approaches, we give thanks for all of our blessings. Bring safety to all those who are traveling near and far. Bless the time that we will spend with our families. And be with our public safety officers as they protect our communities and their families. And also be with all county employees and families as we thank them for their service to our community. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Elkhart County Council is now in session to hear any and all business brought before them. Thank you.
Made it.
I'd like to welcome each one of you to the November County Council meeting. Tom Stump is under the weather and is not here tonight. So as Vice President, I will be fulfilling the role of handling the meeting. So I think what we'll do to start out, I'll make this like church. I was handed this for an announcement before we start. Isn't that how you do it? Anyhow, the commissioner's office is, or I guess, is the commissioner's office having the open house or just the whole building? Somebody. On the 16th of December, they're having an open house, a meet and greet and refreshments. It says, come mingle and jingle with elected officials. So anyhow, you're supposed to bring cash, checks, or some type of food items, canned goods, that kind of thing. It's for the Salvation Army. So they're doing it as an event to help out the Salvation Army at this time of year. So keep that in your back of your mind, write it on your calendar, and you can come on the 16th. It says from 1 to 3 in the afternoon.
That's in this building?
It's in this room. Yeah.
In 104 here. So with that, we will start the meeting. The secretary will call the roll.
Mr. Obielski, Mr. Clark,
Here.
Mr. Graham,
Here.
Mr. Hess,
Here.
Mr. Rieksecker,
Here.
Mr. Stump, and Mr. Young.
Here. Now, call for the approval of the minutes from the October 16th meeting and the approval of the budget first reading minutes from October the 15th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Rieksecker, a second by Clark. Further discussion? Hearing none. Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports. Commissioners. Nothing? How about the council?
Nothing for me. No.
Randy?
Pass.
Nope.
Pass.
Auditor's office?
Pass.
And sheriff?
Wow.
I'll go against the grain tonight. Jeff Siegel, Sheriff's Office, 26861, County Road 26, Building A. Just to let everyone know on the council and the public, last week, the Sheriff's Office received our 12th accreditation through the Commission on Law Enforcement Accreditation through CALEA. Randy, Brad, I'm sure you're both very familiar with that process. Sheriff's Office has been accredited since 1984. I vividly remember that. I was a sophomore in high school. It's a tradition we have continued for many sheriffs. What CALEA accreditation does is we open our policies and we provide CALIA with proofs that we are following the best practice policies that we have in place. They then conduct an interview. I needed bailed out a couple times. Fortunately, my accreditation manager did a great job. But we wanted to brag on that a little bit. We're actually the first sheriff's office in the United States that was ever accredited through CALIA. So
What does CLIA stand for?
Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies.
Okay, thank you.
So that was my good news for this
Goes
evening.
back to Sheriff Dick Bowman at the time, and I know he worked tirelessly to put things in place and get that done, and future sheriffs like Randy were able to maintain that, and Brad, and so it's been a real tradition, and I think it's served us well to have that tradition and uphold the standards. So thank you very much for your
Great.
effort.
Thank you.
We're now moving into the additional appropriation requests. Each request will be handled separately by the board, and I will give the public and the council members, as a part of the public hearing process, an opportunity to comment after presentation of the appropriation request. When no further comments are made on the specific request, public hearing will deem to be closed, and the council will vote on this specific request. So with that, we will move into this portion. So the first item you have?
The sheriff's office asking for $675,000 from the general fund.
Yes, council, this request is to shore up medical costs and food costs that have been presented by our providers in the correctional facility. The bulk of this is medical. I have some examples here if anybody'd like to hear some of the expenses that cause these situations like this.
Just real quick, this is 675 in addition to what was budgeted. And I know there's no way you guys can predict what medical will be, but that's just in addition to what we already budgeted.
Correct.
Maybe read one or two examples, Jeff.
Absolutely. So for those that may not know, whenever you come to the correctional facility, say you're battling a significant illness or you have an injury from a fight or a car crash, that then becomes the sheriff's office or the taxpayer's burden to pay those medical expenses. For example, we had one individual who had been in a car crash. He needed outside medical care, $8,973. Another individual was in a fight and got his jaw broken, $18,480. Another gentleman, I don't really know what his medical issue was, 21,000. Same for prescription drugs. Apparently blood thinners are very expensive. We prescribed 3 different blood thinners, total expense annually, 50,000. So just a few examples of what we're absorbing.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Comments from the public? Seeing none? Any further questions or comments from the council?
I'll give the sheriff's department credit. There's nothing they can do to predict what medical will be. They go off historic and then try to extrapolate, but it just stinks if somebody gets injured more or whatever.
And population of the facility is a factor. Of course, if you have 400 inmates, your medical expenses are going to be much lower. So if you trend up, the costs are also going to trend that way.
Well, you're in a catch-22 many times, especially on warrants, picking up somebody on an out-of-state warrant. That has happened in the past where you've picked up, not you specifically, but the department has had to pick up somebody on an out-of-state warrant and they were extremely sick. And
we have even had instances where local police departments have gone to nursing homes to serve a warrant, which doesn't usually end in a low medical expense.
I'll move to approve. Oh, sorry. Do we have a second?
Yeah, we already
My
did.
bad. I'm out.
You got the motion in a second?
Yes, we do.
Sheriff, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Said that the appropriation coming from money that received from the Indiana Department of Corrections. So this is money that we're getting back from the state for housing for bed rental. So is that explanation correct on here?
While I don't prepare this agenda, I believe we recently were paid back from the Department of Corrections for the funds they owed us for quite a while, which I believe was around 1.3 million. And I'm probably referencing using those funds to cover these expenses.
Okay. They still $35 a day, or did that get raised a little bit?
Oh, it's been raised, but it's still not where it should be.
Any further discussion? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Up next, we have information technology asking for $306,435 from the general fund.
Good afternoon, council members. Jeff Taylor, County Administrator. The two appropriation requests, they're the two line items before you, are for renewals that did not make it into the budget because they were late year end, this time of year needs that well, I think at budget time I mentioned that there's going to be some scragglers here at the end of the year that we're going to have to consider yet again next year, and then we'll put them in the 27 budget once we renew that. A comment or a request on the first number, you'll see $101,055. That request remains the same. The one underneath that, we were working to get a discount for a 3-year renewal arrangement. We did not get that. So I would like to ask that that number be reduced to $68,460. That would be for a 1-year renewal. And then next year, of course, since it was not put in the 2026 budget, we will be back again for the 2027 renewal. And this will be in future budgets, these two
So
expenses.
your new total that you're asking for is what?
It'll make me think on my
Yeah.
feet. Okay, 107. No,
101.
101 plus 68,460.
$169,515.
You got that figured? What'd you say it was? I didn't.
$169,515.
Yes,
Okay. 169,000.
515. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a reduction from 360. Questions from the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by, I think it was Doug, second by Reed Sicker. Comments, questions from the public? Seeing or hearing none, have any further comments from the council? Seeing none, we'll call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Our next is the auditor's office. We're asking for $1,400,000 to pay the arbitrage for the 2020 bonds. It's due beginning of January.
Okay.
Pat is not here.
For those of you who are not familiar with arbitrage, when you do a large public project like we did, you tap into the municipal bond market, which that sells at a lower interest rate and so forth. And unlike you, when you would be, let's say, building a house and you set up the amount for the mortgage and then you're drawing on it over time, so you're not paying interest on the full amount. Doesn't work that way. The munis are sold. We get the entire amount from the municipal bond market. that money is invested while the project is going on, and then you draw that down, so there's interest made. And of course, the holders of the bonds are getting a break on the lower tax-free bonds. So this all plays out. They calculate the differential between what we received in interest and the what the real interest was on the tax-free. And it's a complicated process, but especially in a market like we had, if you stop and think when the courthouse was built, the interest rates, we had a couple of years there where they were rising significantly. And so the arbitrage is something then that we pay back. So not a choice in it.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Rich, second.
Second. Second.
Second by Doug. Further questions from the council? Questions from the public?
I have just one thing to add to that, Dave, just talking though, but it just shows how prudent we were in locking in those bond rates at the low rate that we did.
Yes.
I mean, that's why there's such a big arbitrage involved, is because we bought low, and then in the meantime, the rates have gone up,
Yeah.
so we gotta pay the spread.
Yeah. So. Any further comments from the council? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have Highway Department asking for $350,000 from the edit fund.
Good evening, Council. Kyle Wagner, Highway Department. These are funds for preliminary engineering and other associated costs for Bridge 362, which is on Division Street over the Elkhart River between Waterfall Drive and Goshen Avenue. This project will include the replacement of the original sidewalk, the sidewalk beams, and the railing that is all deficient. This project will be locally funded.
So this is not a federal aid.
This is not.
Okay. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Randy, second by Reitziger. Further questions from the council? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none. Any further comments from the council? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We have Highway asking for $80,000 out of.
So these funds appropriation is for engineering assessment and associated cost to develop alternatives for replacement and rehabilitation of Bridge 254 on County Road 38 over Boggo Creek, which is just east of County Road 1. The bridge is structurally deficient with a posted weight limit. This project is to be locally funded by the county. Future appropriations for engineering, design, and construction will be requested upon completion of this phase and the selection of a preferred alternative.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Reitziger, seconded by Clark. Further questions from the council? Questions from the comments from the public? Hearing none. Further questions or comments from the council? So what are the alternatives? You talk about alternatives. This is probably a concrete pre-stressed.
Right, it's a concrete box beam currently. So the alternatives would be the steel beams
Yeah.
or a different concrete material.
I saw an interesting thing that they're doing in Iowa on rural roads, on bridges. This one county is buying old flat cars that are no longer viable on the tracks. I don't know if it's because of the undercarriage or just what. They set the wing walls and they're setting the flat cars. I think they set 3 of them, 2 or 3. If it's a longer span, they're doing a concrete in the middle, setting 6. And using those for bridges and saving significant amounts of money. That was a rather novel concept for old flat cars.
That's interesting.
There's your alternative. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have the sheriff's office asking for $112,305 from Lit Special Purpose.
Jeff Siegel, Sheriff's Office. This request, $112,305, is to fund 2 intensive caseworkers for our inmate programming ward. Since 2010, I believe. I brought some notes, bear with me. I take that back. Since 2016, the Department of Corrections has been providing us with grant funds to pay for these 2 positions. The Department of Corrections has since taken that grant away from us. And I know the general policy has been grant goes away, the position goes away. But I think this is a significant thing that happens in our correctional facility. And I think we need to set that policy to the side on this matter. We have been doing programming in the correctional facility since 2006. We didn't start keeping good records until a few years later in 2013. 2013 to present, we have provided programming to 22,000 inmates. That's a pretty substantial number. Some of those folks may have only taken 1 class. Some of them have taken all of the classes and received 20 certificates. I shared some of this information with you, but if you have other specific questions, I will certainly try to answer those. Another significant bit of information, the recidivism rate in our programming ward is 22%. Statewide, 2024, recidivism for the Department of Corrections was 36.5. So it looks like these programs might be making a difference in helping minimize people in our county being victimized. So I'm here today to ask for these funds so we can continue doing business as we've been doing.
Can I ask a question? From what you said, it sounds like we used to fund this and then we got a grant that funded it for this, and grant's gone away, but it was funded by the county before that?
I believe
It
so.
sounds like it. I mean, so
I worked there when this started, but I certainly wasn't involved in it, but I would assume that was the case.
I thought it was always grant funded. Because that is,
that's what I heard him say. It started in 2016.
yeah, but I thought it started with a grant in 2016.
No, but it's going on before that.
That's when the grant started.
But we were doing it before that, Jeff, correct?
We have been doing programming since 2008.
What did the programming must have changed or something? Because I remember in 2016 when it was like a big deal when we got the program ward is what we call it.
So the programming that we provide is always changing. We do drug treatment, we do moral recognition therapy, we do all kinds of things in program ward. We even have employers come into the facility and do job fairs for individuals who are close to getting released. So I just hate to I think there's a total of 21 different programs. I can read them all if you'd like.
No, that's all right.
I happily will.
Could you read a couple of them? I was going to ask you for that because I thought
Sure.
those titles were very interesting, and you don't have to read them all, but pick a few of them out.
Coping with anger, domestic violence, job readiness, life after incarceration, moral recognition therapy, parenting and family values, Seeking Safety, which is substance abuse. Taking the High Road is another substance abuse educational class. Staying Quit, second part of the substance abuse class. Victim Impact, and there's several others.
That's good. Thank you.
I'll
Thank
move to
you.
approve.
Second. Motion by Doug, second by Reed. I'm guessing historically, these probably were in the domain of the work release section, which was part of the sheriff's department.
Again,
Um,
I think the creator of work release is amongst us.
mm,
Wouldn't you?
Before me.
Before.
Really?
Yeah, Bowman started the
Well,
program.
I take back all that credit I gave you.
That's a long time ago, wasn't it, Jeff?
Well, he hired me, so blame him.
The, and Sheriff Books at the, made a strong argument to move that whole process out under community, community corrections and set up the community corrections. And I think we all got on board with it. After a year or two, I began to have some second thoughts about it, but that train had left the station. Still have second thoughts about it. The train is even farther down the road now. But I think that's probably where it was handled and probably the way it was handled at the time.
So just a quick comment on that. This programming, some of it is also offered at work release. So if you leave our facility and you're midway through a program, you can go to work release, jump in where you left off, and you're not going back to the beginning or losing the work that you've done.
Yeah.
And last I knew, I don't think by statute or constitution, the sheriff doesn't have to provide programming. This is something that I think is important, and I think the county should invest in.
Further questions from the council?
Jeff, we've talked about this before, and I am generally in favor of this, and I'm highly likely to vote in favor of it. One of the concerns I have is this is one of the few areas that we can cut, because like you said, it's not statutory or constitutional. And a lot of the things that we're often struggling with, sheriff's department, salaries have to go up to kind of match with inflation, and price of roads has went up. And overall, I agree with you. I'm struggling with where do we cut at some point. And so, overwhelmingly, I do agree, but it's just a struggle for me because, as we've always said, when the grant goes away, the positions go away. I don't know if we had these positions before 2016 when the grant started, but I remember the grant coming in and then we kind of invested in it, and now the grant's going away. I'm not saying we don't keep it. It's just a struggle for me. So
I understand that, but as long as you're overwhelmingly in support of this, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, the mantra that we've had for years, when the grant goes away, the position goes away, is a good mantra, and it really sounds good until the grant goes away.
And we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference. If we receive a grant and then establish a program from that grant, it's one thing. But if we had an ongoing program that we can now get a grant to help offset the cost of, that's a totally different situation. And that's what it sounds like we have here.
And on a separate note, we're not being picked on by the DOC. They took these monies away from every sheriff's office in the state, so they're just not mad at us.
That was one of the first questions I had, and I did a little research on that, and because I thought, okay, what did we do wrong that we didn't get the grant and everybody else did? But that's not the case. It's state money that went away.
Whose voice was that?
That's the voice behind you. The voice that, I don't know that he took the money away, but he, part of the system. And I asked HR for some information. We have 66 grant-funded positions in the county. So this potentially is as things move forward, the kind of discussion that we could be faced with 66 times. My problem, and I'm supportive of this program, don't get me wrong. But my problem is we have, at this point, no policy. We haven't thought through how we're going to look at priorities as to what we may choose to fund and what we decide ultimately not to fund are grant funded. And it's going to become an interesting discussion going forward as more grants bite the dust.
I couldn't agree more. And to your point, I think that's where the department heads and the elected officials representing those departments are coming to you, letting you know what their priorities are. And then we're gonna have to go from there. I don't think this is the first one that this has happened to, and I don't think it's gonna be the last. To Doug's point, some of these grants were not available, and we switched funding to take pressure off the general fund. And so therefore, as we're looking forward in 26 of the 27 budget specifically, we'll have a little bit better picture on what other grant funds are released and then where departments want to reprioritize. So I think this is an ongoing discussion, but I think the sheriff has made it clear that this is his preference and his priority.
So this is for next year then?
Correct. Okay, let's open it up to public for comment or questions. Blake, we're honored to have your presence at this meeting.
Normally I see you guys early in the morning on a Saturday, but anyways, yes, I was part of what cut this. The last week and a half of session, we got notice that we were going to be $2.4 billion short on an annual budget of $22 billion. So what could we do? But basically cut 5% across the board. And corrections got cut, and they went through and they had to do what they had to do. But that's why I'm not here. And I will work for more money, believe me. And it won't be this year, but next year we'll be working for that. So I'm getting emotional. My stepson is back here. His mother and I fought to find him for several years. We found him. We tried to get him into a counseling facility, and we could not. And then one day, he got arrested. And that was the best day of his. He went there. He went to classes, anger management, financial classes, parenting classes. Spent a year. He's just about off probation. And this month, he will be three years clean. Alcohol and the one you can't get away from, meth. So these programs work. And I request that you fund it, and I will do my best to get the funding from the state, if at all possible. So with that, thank you. Any questions?
I would suggest that this information that we have here, in fact, you can have mine, this statistics that you put together.
I'll send it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when you could start comparing your recidivism for these people against recidivism in the state, they're doing a heck of a job here.
Yeah. And I'd like to add a couple of things. Ryan got his first job, and he was doing a great job there. Pay wasn't much. So I got him in at Smart Cabinet. And the first day of the week, he started at sanding. And they came by and they go, how's work going? He said, well, I'm pretty well done. And he said, what? Well, it's just sanding. And then he was on the paint line, noticed that they were having problems and they couldn't figure it out. And he looked down there and he says, well, that one spray nozzle is 3 inches higher than the other ones. By the end of this first week, he was running one of the spray lines and almost went from I think $18 to in the high 20s. So, I mean, this stuff helps. So, and he's changed jobs and now he's basically the lead man on his line. So, thank you.
Thanks, Blake.
Blake, it kind of reminds you of the kid you hired one time from Wakarusa that do ditch inspections, and you thought he could maybe get a couple ditches in the summer, and by the end of the first week, he had a whole bunch of them done.
Yep. Yep.
Good kids out there.
Yes, they are.
Okay, comments or questions any more from the public?
Say something.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm Blake's stepson, and I just wanted to let you guys know these programs do work. I was out there doing the most. Jail for me was a blessing. A lot of people don't believe it when I say that, but I was blessed in the way that I had an opportunity to ground myself and focus on the future rather than just being released out of jail and not knowing what I was going to do. I took advantage of the job fairs, took advantage of the financial classes. I earned several certificates in the financing classes. And I applied myself. I had several good people in the program pod that I could talk to openly, share my feelings with. It was a sort of therapy. It was a relief from the life that I had been living. So nothing but good from that program pod. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments and good luck on your sobriety. As you approach the mic, you can give us your name and address.
Hello, Council. My name is Derek Boss, and I live 113 Crescent Ave in Goshen, Indiana. I was also a participant in the program.
Can you pull the mic towards you? They can't hear you.
I was also a participant in the program in the Elkhart County Jail. I'd like to say it was one of the most helpful programs. Coming up on my anniversary of being 4 years clean of all drugs, alcohol, everything. I completed 20 courses inside the jail of the programs, the alcohol programs, the jobs for life, anything that you could ask for in there was in the program pod. I don't feel that I would be where I'm at today. I successfully hold a job in Elkhart County now. I'm a resident of Elkhart County. I don't feel without the program pod, I would have made it. They provided me with the tools and showed me the resources to stay sober, showed me the resources, how to get a job, hold a job, and to do well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck on your sobriety.
Santa Claus.
It's a nice thing everybody's called me today. Corey Martin, 707 North Fifth Street, Goshen, Indiana. I'm the executive director for the Elkhart County Jail Ministry and served as a chaplain at the jail since 2013. So since 2013, I've been in the jail 5 days a week, all day long. I have access to everywhere in the jail, all the pods, all the wards. And I just want to come up and share some of my experience with the program officers and the program ward. First, just interestingly, the sheriff rattled off some of the programs that the jail offers. However, right now, Ivy Tech is in the jail doing certified logistics classes for the program award, which gets people a certificate, which has been helpful for people once they leave jail to get jobs in Elkhart County with that logistics certificate. So Ivy Tech comes in. We just had a celebration today. A guy in the program award earned his GED today. And Goshen College comes in May for certified Goshen College classes. They bring people from Goshen College into the jail, and they have Goshen College classes with the inmates and the students. So there's a few additional classes that are offered. I would like to say that I think the program award is good for the people who are inside the jail, who are inmates there, but I think it's also good for us. I think as citizens of Elkhart County, if we want to be tough on crime, we want people to leave incarceration better versions of themselves. Very few people are going to spend their entire lives incarcerated. They're going to move back to Elkhart County. They're going to be our neighbors. We're going to see them in the community. And to the extent that they're emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically healthy, they're going to be better neighbors. They're going to be better employers. They're going to be better parents. They're just going to be better people. And so I think the programs that are offered inside the Elkhart County Jail that Derek and Ryan have participated in helps reduce, that's the reason it helps reduce the recidivism and reduce crime. People come out better versions of themselves than when they went in. Elkhart County, I think, is a model throughout the state as far as what we're able to do with our programs inside the Elkhart County Jail. And as a side note, Ryan and Derek, the jail ministry has 8 reentry homes on the north side of Goshen. Ryan's lived there with us. Derek is currently with us. The sheriff mentioned a continuum of services. It starts in programming, and then it goes to work release, where you get a continuation of those services. And then it's nice that they also, a lot of people end up coming to the jail ministry for housing and different needs also. So we're grateful for what the sheriff and his staff do inside the jail. I think it benefits the community ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you, Court. I think as I've gotten around the state, I've heard people talk about how Elkhart County is tough on crime and how we arrest a lot more people than they do in other counties, as Corey just alluded to. But I think we also have been supportive over the years of programs that what I would call restorative justice. Going back to Al Wingert and CCJ and some of those kinds of things over the years, development of community corrections and work release and all of that. And so this is in the continuum of trying to find ways where you can get restorative justice so that people are responsible for whatever misdemeanor or crime they've committed, but there is restorative justice as well, where they could become good, productive citizens. So, any further comment from the public? Any further questions or comments from the council?
I just want to thank you guys for coming in. I mean,
Yeah.
it can't be easy to come in and talk about your life like that. And I appreciate you guys coming in and doing that. This shows a lot.
I also commend you. I've got 5 reasons here that I'd written out why to vote against it. But you know, and it goes back to the fact that we don't have a policy and those kinds of things. I seriously think we need to start working on development of a policy as grants go away, what we're going to fund, what we're not going to fund, and how we go about that. There's aspects of this that are kind of going around CCPC, but we're in the process of how we do these positions differently and some things like that anyhow. So with that said, call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we have the clerk's office asking for $20,000 out of clerk perpetuation fund.
Good evening, Christopher Anderson, Elkhart County Clerk. This request is for $20,000 for the purchase of 2 new copy machines and 6 desktop printers to go in the new courthouse. Copy machines will be placed around the office. The desktop printers are either individual or shared for specific individuals that are dealing with Title 4D printing. Child support printing, some of those things, and that we had originally thought we were going to be able to share. It's not, we have to increase that, and that this is a request for those. I am also working with council and IT in terms of utilizing additional clerk appropriation or clerk perpetuation funds for the maintenance of the ones that we will have in the office, that we do have in the office, the computers that we have, because that is what that fund is there for. And that's what I would like to use it for.
Sorry, just if, well, I guess wait till we get to the question.
Yeah, questions from the council?
So I thought we were going to run printers through IT.
We had originally ordered some, and then we thought that was going to be enough with what we were going to be able to bring over from the 2 offices from both Elkhart and Goshen. Some of those were at their end of their life, and we had to order more. And this was kind of a continuation of that. And that's how I had kind of looked at it. And I apologize that I didn't run it past. But like I said, I do have the perpetuation money that I can utilize, and that is specifically what that perpetuation fund is for printers, for computers, for maintenance, licensing, and that sort of stuff.
But we're trying to tighten this system up, Chris, to where all of it goes through our IT department, so they're aware of what we're buying, why we're buying it, different programs that are available. So you're saying this was approved or not approved by the IT department?
It was not.
It's not.
This was kind of a continuation of what we had originally done. And I said, okay, we need this continuation of what we had and what we had originally gotten. And I didn't run it through IT.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to vote against it until you can bring it back to us with the blessing from our IT department. But
okay,
we need to have it all coordinated because we got to get our arms around this IT animal that's out there.
I'm with you. The one thing that is kind of interesting, and this is where I'd be curious to hear from commissioners, is if we can use a fund, if we can't use it for other things. But I do agree with your general sentiment that IT needs to bless it, because we keep giving IT money to try to rein it in, and then nobody takes IT out of their budget, and it's
IT could still order it.
Yeah.
It could still come out of this fund.
Fair enough.
It could fall under another maintenance contract we maybe already have or something like that. Those are the things that's why IT needs to be the orchestrator.
We buy in bulk, we get a bigger discount. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think you just need to run this through the IT department.
Chris, some of your justification, you talked about 4D child support stuff. Does this fall under reimbursable?
A portion of that is going to be reimbursable for the copy machines, and a portion for the desktop printers, portion for any maintenance.
All that's being used for 4D stuff.
Yep. And the same holds true for child support.
I'll just say again, I thought we'd established a procedure where it was all going to go through IT. That was my understanding of what the policy was going to be, and IT would have to be involved in the purchase of anything like this.
It sounds like you're amenable to working with IT for ordering these and running it through that.
Yeah. And what I would like to have this approved so I can get a vendor paid and then work with IT, get them there, and also utilize perpetuation fund for what we already have in the office, for the maintenance contracts that we do have in the office, because we can pay those. Licensing, that's what that's also for. We need it on the computers for anything that we produce.
Now I'm really confused. These machines have already been purchased?
They have been delivered, yes. And this is to pay the vendor. we were trying to get it in under the, at the end of the year, using the, state purchase. No,
Kind of a
well,
wild question here. Why would you purchase something without appropriation?
well,
attached to it?
I originally thought we had it in the perpetuation that it had been appropriated as part of the, budget from 2025, but that was not the case when I looked at it.
So in terms of the equipment, you said, if I'm understanding you correctly, these are the same, essentially machines, models, so on and so forth, that were part of everything else that was ordered?
They, the printers and the, copy machines were, replacements for, what we had in the Goshen and Elkhart offices. And when we looked at those and said, nope, this is gonna cost us more. And those, there were not enough for the clerk's office. And so in addition to what we had purchased, we purchased these. And we wanted to get them in underneath the, 2025 purchase agreement that the state has with, the technology companies.
Jeff, didn't we look at all this, like during the move and stuff, what had to be bought and not had to be bought? I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
I'm just, this whole thing confuses me, and it's only because I'm looking at the real surface. But to me, if you had two locations providing services, now it's in one location, you'd think there'd be less machinery involved. Maybe I'm just naive, but just the fact that it's co-located now versus two different spots. But that's just the way my simple mind works. But
Some of the printers that were in those locations were not going to be moved because it was going to cost us more in maintenance, and we were going to have to replace them soon anyway. Those were some of the things that we were doing with those. The copy machine that was in the clerk's office, here in Goshen, had 2.75 million copies on it or something like that. It was astronomical because we also utilize that for printing our poll worker manual. And that saves us $4,500 per election, for doing that rather than taking it to an outside vendor.
Okay. Further questions from the council?
I'll ask for a roll call.
yes, me
Well,
too.
comments from the public? Questions?
Brad, you
Okay.
want to say something? Kind of sit at the edge of the chair there.
Brad Rogers, County Commissioner. So we've had transition meetings to this new courthouse. We've had meetings to discuss the equipment, the hookups, everything, and this could have been covered under that, but it wasn't. So I'm not necessarily saying he doesn't need these, but again, it hasn't been approved by IT, and we will work to with him to see if this is truly needed, and we'll go from there. So it is what it is.
It's kind of difficult now when the printers are there in the office. So, I mean, it's like,
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, but
if everybody goes out and orders something and then come to us later,
I think that's a bigger reason it.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because then if you approve, then.
Everybody's got to come and do that. Yeah.
The fact this is clerk's or not perpetuation, but the
That is.
perpetuation fund, I'm not sure how that plays into it. I think you have to come for appropriation, but I'm not sure on that.
I'm not, I do not know. We had used recorders and we had used clerks without
Clerks always have
appropriation.
because it is a gray area. If push comes to shove, I don't know. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we just call for a vote. If you can do that.
Yeah.
Wait, I just,
All right.
do we have a motion for anything?
Did you make a motion to,
No, but I will.
well, Doug?
I'll make a motion to deny this appropriation.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to deny. Any further comments or questions? You don't have a quick access to statutes, do you? I didn't think so.
I don't have Westlaw in here.
Okay. Okay. You wanted a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Okay, roll call vote.
Mr. Bielski, not here. Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Yes means no, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
No.
Mr. Reeksecker,
Yes.
Mr. Young,
No.
and Mr. Stump, not here. So that's 3 yeses, 2 nos.
But back to whoever said it. I mean, if we run this through IT, I'm open to it. I just want to go through the proper process.
I think if we had the okay from IT, we'd have no problem with it. A letter from IT. I don't know how the commissioners want to handle that.
I may be assuming that it's something I've read, but I thought we sent out some papers saying that all purchases had to go through IT. I mean, it was my understanding, and the reason is we didn't know everything that's plugged into our system. We owe it to the citizens that we make sure we're buying the right equipment and plugging it at the right time. And so if it comes back with IT's blessing, I'm fine with it. But
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item. Next item.
I was trying to look up the
Okay.
account site for the perpetuation.
You're looking up Westlaw?
Yeah, no, I was gonna go to state board because they have a list of what you have.
You're not an attorney, but you play one here?
Highway
Might be
department.
cheaper.
She might be cheaper.
No, the rogue operator.
Like a
80, okay, I'm trying to, $80,000 from the cumulative bridge fund.
You're safe.
Good evening, Council. Kyle Wagner, Highway Department. These appropriations are funds for engineering assessment and associated costs for Bridge 407, which is located on College Avenue over Run Creek in the city of Goshen. The existing bridge is structurally deficient. This project is to be locally funded by the county. Future appropriations will be presented upon a solution of the rehabilitation or replacement decision after that phase is selected.
This is a bad year for bridges.
It's very bad year for bridges.
Everywhere you drive, there's a bridge closed.
Yeah, honestly, is it weather? Is it we built them all at the same time and we're on a cycle? Is there something?
So I'd say the last 10 that I've presented, they're over 50 years old.
Yeah.
So it's just at that timeline of we're at a 50-year mark, and now let's put another one in that's going to last another 50 years. So that's where we're at now.
So
And if I recall this from the commissioners meeting earlier this week, the county's responsible for all bridges in the county.
For all bridges.
This is going to be a city project. We're just funding it for the city. The city's going to manage it, correct?
No, this is ours.
I thought it was something in conjunction with something else going on.
That's Bridge 410 on College Avenue.
Okay. I got bridges confused. It's too many.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing,
Cottage College.
in the late 60s, the commissioners, if I remember right, put on a major bridge building project. I don't remember whether it was bonded But it put like 25 cents on the rate. It was pretty extreme. And they replaced an awful lot of the old pony truss bridges that were just way underrated. I mean, you know, 4-6 tons is about what you could do with
Mhm.
safely. And a lot of them were replaced then with the pre-stressed cable with the concrete spans.
Right.
With the cable in them. And so that's why you've got an abundance of them now, because those are all wearing out.
Well, and also, most people in this room are too young to remember, but I think it was in the 80s. There was a huge problem with bridges nationwide on all the interstate highways and what have you, and had some bridge failures. So I think, if I recall right, federal government, I think, started to do more inspection of bridges than they'd done before and come up with new standards as well.
Right.
But that's before most of you people in this room were born. I remember when it happened.
Yeah, and they even changed the standards again this year to tighten it up even more. This is also a statewide thing that we were told by our consultant that does our bridge inspections through the state, that it's not just us, it's everywhere.
Well, this was part of our 10-year plan on bridges anyway. Weren't these coming up?
Some of them, yes. There was a couple that were curveballs that were thrown in.
Comments from the public? Questions from the public?
You have a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Reed Secker, second by Doug. Seeing none from the public, any further comments from the council?
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
Where does Cume Bridge come from? Like, where does the funding mechanism for that?
Cume Bridge?
Yeah.
It's specific on the Cume rate. You have Cume Bridge, Cume Drain, and Cume Cap. Historically, those were froze at 15 cents. And they were divided equally, each had a 5-cent rate.
Off of property tax?
Property tax.
Okay.
Yeah, part of the property tax equation. And then the rules changed on the Cume Cap. But we have the Cume Bridge and the Cume Drain. Cume Bridge is paid for by the entire assessed value in the county. Cume Drain is the unincorporated areas.
Thank you.
Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we have the surveyor's office asking for $200,000 from the cumulative drain fund.
Speaking of Cume Drain.
Yep. Philip Barker, County Surveyor. This is for just to replenish our maintenance fund for the ditches.
It's a pretty simple explanation.
Yeah, well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Doug, seconded by Steve. Further questions, comments? Questions from the public or comments? Seeing none, further questions or comments from the council? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get the brush out.
Planning and development is next with $14,313.75 from the South Benton TIF.
Good afternoon, Council. May Krautzer, Planning and Development. Just as it states, this is for $14,313.75. We initially wanted to expand the South Bend TIF to help out with highway, get a bridge project done. Talking about bridge projects tonight, there's a lot this year. Kind of good timing. There's also some commercial development proposed on the northern edge of this TIF at the 142 and 15 intersection. So it just covers the legal services and some of the title work done to do that expansion.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Doug, second by Randy. Questions from the council? Question or comment from the public? Seeing none, any further questions from the council? Not, call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Planning and Development is asking for 500,000 from the Middlebury East TIF.
So 500,000 from the Middlebury East TIF. This is part of the 1.5 million that would go towards the Middlebury wastewater treatment plant expansion. I know this was tabled from last month, and we've had quite a bit of discussion individually since then. I also sent out a memo, I think yesterday or the day before, that covered probably 5 main points, kind of the healthy balance of all of our TIFs, what Middlebury's TIFs look like. And I think one of the more important things to this council is the split between us and Middlebury and the overall project between design and construction costs, where Middlebury is able to cover 60% of the cost and the county covering 40% of the cost.
It was 50, right? We moved it.
So I'll make a motion to approve with the 60-40 split, 60 to be Middlebury, 40% to be Elkhart County.
So that would change this appropriation to 400,000?
Right? No.
No?
Appropriation stays the same. Appropriation stays the same. We're just talking about, when we look at the project breakdown over the next 6 to 7 years, because it's not going to happen just this next year, right? So the 1.5 is towards design cost, but the whole project in entirety between design and construction between the next 6 and 7 years, depending on timeline of construction, will be 22 million. That cost breakdown is 60-40 over the next 6 to 7 years. So the 1.5 remains the same. The request is still the same.
Well, I'm really confused because as I look at the detail here, I see 2 million. Some from the State Road 13 TIF, the Middlebury East TIF, and the town of Middlebury.
Which sheet are you looking at, Doug? I
This
apologize.
appropriation sheet here, this.
Appropriation sheet.
Yeah. You see what I'm talking about, Daryl?
That says 500,000, but down below it says 2 million. Total engineering cost of 2 million. Funding breakdown, 500,000 town of Middlebury, 500,000 Middlebury East TIF County, $1 million State Road 13 Middlebury Interchange TIF County.
So for my agenda, I'm looking at Middlebury East TIF is 500,000 and the State Road 13 interchange TIF is $1 million.
We're talking about the yellow sheet that you filled out, or you signed or whatever.
The appropriation, right? It looks like the 500,000 is for the town of Middlebury.
Yeah.
Sorry, just I am confused, and I'm not saying there's anything funny, but
yeah,
it was 50-50, and so I see. But is that just on the construction costs later that it's going to be 60-40? But
if you look at the same, correct. So if you look at the project entirely, not just the design costs, but construction too, then that's where the cost comes down to 60-40 over the course of the whole project.
And to confirm, that was originally 50-50. That
Yes.
was never going to be 60-40. Okay. I thought somebody said something different earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
And that would be addressed in an interlocal agreement.
We can do that. Yes, that came up at RDC. That was a question that was asked if that was something that we would like to explore. And I think that Daryl spoke to that some too. And if that's something we want to have in an interlocal, we certainly can.
Yeah, that needs to be spelled out in the interlocal.
That's no problem.
So did we have a motion?
Well,
you made a motion, right?
Right, but you're saying it was wrong though, right? I said
No.
60-40, and you're saying no, it's 50-50 for the design.
Design is 75-25. The overall project is 60-40. Yes.
The amounts requested get to 60-40.
Correct.
Okay.
Those kind of things get addressed in the interlocal agreement.
Yes.
And if it's 60-40 or 75-25, that gets addressed. And these are base dollars we put in, and Middlebury have to raise additional monies to make it work.
And one of the things I will point out too, because there was a question, what is Middlebury able to do outside of the TIFs? And they did, not just related to this project, but across the town, collect 10 million in grants in just this year. So their town council, their RDC is very proactive in looking for other monies.
Yeah, there was a motion.
So Reitziger made a motion. Do I have a second?
Wait, what is the motion? I didn't hear you.
To approve the appropriation.
As is.
Well, it's gonna be a 60-40 split.
Are you trying to split the 500,000? Are you addressing the project in total? Like, what's the point split?
That's hard to speak.
Steve Olson, County Attorney. If I understand correctly from listening to everyone's conversation with respect to this project, the overall project will have a 60-40 split that will include both design and construction.
Right.
Design element split 75-25. So right now you have an appropriation before you. The understanding would be that these would be approved as identified at 500,000 for Middlebury East Tift. Soon you'll have State Road 13 interchange Tift at the $1 million. And then you would like to see, before any further appropriations with respect to this project come forward, an interlocal agreement that confirms that 60-40 split. Is that the understanding?
Sounds good.
Well, that interlocal agreement, will that include the engineering costs then too?
Yes, that'd be the full project cost.
So we're actually paying ahead on what we're paying.
Yes, my understanding based upon the desire of the council would be to ensure that the interlocal agreement recognizes this 1.5 million as a portion of your percentage of that total cost.
Thanks, Steve.
Kind of what I said.
Steve just summarized it so beautifully.
You just talked longer.
So we got a motion by Reed Chicken, or second by Randy. Further questions from the council? Questions or comments from the public?
Pam Kaiser, Middlebury. So I know it went from 50-50 to 60-40. And I just go back to my concerns that I previously brought up to the Redevelopment Commission and also this council. And that is that I just don't think it should go on the back of the people. Yes, there's going to be some benefit maybe in some way, but this is really set up for manufacturing and that kind of thing. They're going to get the most out of it. And the people are not asking for this that I know of. I've not spoken to anyone who is. They're concerned about their bill, their sewer bill. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
Just happy to respond to Pam's comment, just to say that that's the benefit of using TIF dollars, is we're able to not burden town residents or county residents with that. And then also the industries that are part of that State Route 13 interchange that are up there are hugely paying into that too. So it just helps offset those costs further for those folks.
Okay. Further comments from the council or questions from the council?
I guess my only reservation is we're saying, when are we going to see this interlocal agreement that's going to put this in writing? I mean, if I vote for this and that doesn't happen, I mean.
What kind of guarantee do you have?
Yeah.
Sure. It's not something we've asked of legal yet, but it's something that's already on their radar because it's come up at RDC. You're saying it in front of me tonight, so I can ensure I get it to you within the first quarter of 2026. And you won't get another appropriation request related to this until then. So.
Okay.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, call for a question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Is this on K and L both, or just K at this time? Because they're both
just K.
Okay, they're both the same.
Look, yes, they are. I thought about taking both of them together.
I thought I did, but I guess not. That was a good total dollar amount here, but that's all right.
Well, if that was the intent of your motion.
It was mine. Yes, I don't know about the second.
I'll move to approve letter L, the State Road 13 interchange TIF, $1 million.
Second.
We just need to make sure that Tiara lists the details associated with that prior to its approval, and we're good to go. Thank you.
Okay. Is that the way you have it?
Planning and Development, $1 million request from State Road 13 interchange TIF. And you guys have already motioned, correct?
You're taking them separately.
We're taking them
Yes,
separately.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I'll make a motion on L.
Right?
Yes, I'll make a motion on L.
Randy seconded.
Randy second. Further question or from the council? Public? Question? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
That way we've got record of both of them.
Sheriff's Office is asking for $35,534.38 for the jail treatment AGA grant.
Jeff Siegel, Sheriff's Office. This is to return to the Department of Corrections $35,534 from their 2025 grant that was unspent.
Suspend it.
Gotta just keep it.
Why did you suspend it?
I would prefer to just keep it because the position was open part of the year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Doug, seconded by Clark. Further questions from the council? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing none. Any further questions from the council? Well, not only did they deny us the other grant, now we gotta pay them back on this grant. What kind of deal is this?
This probably isn't the forum for my comments.
Probably not.
Get Blake back in here.
Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Health Department asking for $132,323 from the Fetal Infant Mortality Review.
Council, Andrew Bilesma, Health Department. So we're asking to appropriate $132,323 of dispersed funds from the state. This would go then from us out to community partners who are providing clinical services to pregnant women in the county.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Doug, second by Steve. Questions from the council? Questions or comments from the general public? Seeing none, any further comments from the council? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Emergency Management Agency is asking for $30,000 from a foundation fund.
Good afternoon, Jennifer Toby, Emergency Management. So I know you have to vote on OP and Q separately, but I want to share something with you first. I came to County Council when we were doing budget reviews and asked for $294,000 for radios because they're on the list and not supported anymore. Some really great things have happened since then, moving into 2026. These three grants here were grants that were kind of out there and we hadn't received or heard anything, and they've come to fruition now in 2025. I also met with ERS, and ERS has a program right now where if we have older radios that are not programmable or are on that list of no longer supported, I can trade them in. They've provided 4 radios. I have 6, which means if I place the order before the end of 2025, I'll have a credit of $7,500. So what you see before you is AEP Foundation invited us to apply for a grant. I applied for a grant for radios for $30,000 and we received it. It's currently in general fund. NIPSCO, same thing. They have a safety grant, which we applied for radios. Norfolk Southern has a safety grant. We asked for radios. They gave us $10,000. What you don't see now is that I have 2 projects that I've worked with the auditor's office for a few years in kind of a savings account, even though that's not what it's meant for as a savings account. If I take my project from District 2, which is $13,683, and my project from Mobile Command Center, which is $7,739, plus these 3 grants that have just come in, plus the credit I get for trading in the radios, I have $65,422 that is not anything that's come from you. These are from grants or what we already have. And we have worked out 10 radios, which is $62,896.99. That was the invitation that I actually had for next year, is to come before you and ask for the appropriation for 10 radios. I can actually do it this year. And if seeing how grants run next year, I would either come to you for 5 radios as the plan that we had rolled out, or I'll utilize grant funds for that. But this is no county money being used at all. This is 100% reimbursement from grants or money that I have that we need to get off the books because it's not a savings account. It's to go back to things that we need. And so we're going to cash those in.
Why can't we vote on these at the same time?
I don't know.
Sorry. Okay. When you
Yeah.
said that, I was.
I just don't know if you need to vote on them. I just wanted to explain all of them individually and
Appreciate
whole
it.
encompass.
Yeah. No. And you do a good job of getting grants for things
Thank
that
you.
we're already going to pay for.
Just has to read all three of them, right? Yeah,
Right.
just has to read all three of them.
Can you?
Thank you, best friend.
Just read them.
Emergency management is asking for $4,000 from NIPSCO safety grant. And also $10,000 from Norfolk Southern Safety First Grant. So that is letters O, P, and Q on the agenda.
I'll move to approve letters O, P, and Q as presented.
I will second.
Motion by
O,
C,
P, and Q.
Read them. I'm like,
second by Reedsicker. Any further questions from the council? Appreciate your explanation. That was very thorough.
Thank you.
Questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, any further comments from the council? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign.
Thanks, Jen.
Motion
Good job.
carries.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
We now have the transfers requiring council action. The first one is from the coroner for 9305, 9,305 from autopsies to other operating supplies. Any questions on that? Yeah, we have one from extension for $1,400 from rent and data processing to office furniture. Have one from the judiciary for $100,000 from medical services to capital supplies and other equipment. Another from the judiciary for transfer from equipment leases to other equipment. Health education for 5214 from sustenance and subscriptions to mileage and mileage to copy machines. Local road and street, 40,000 for motor vehicles to repairs, vehicle repairs and equipment repairs. Community corrections from professional and protective services to professional services for 32,000. And tobacco prevention, that's the health department, from training to office equipment for 800.
I have questions on two of them at least.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Same two.
Extension and health.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us.
Okay. So
You have it.
extension is here, so Robbie, state your name. Go forth.
Sure, Robbie Kelly, County Extension Director. So that transfer is simple. Originally, I had budgeted $2,500 at the beginning of last year for office furniture equipment. Had to transfer that out because I had to purchase a new phone system. And so at the end of the year, I looked and I have 6 office chairs that need to replace because they're falling apart. And so I didn't spend as much on renting our computers as we thought we would this year. And so I transferred that back to purchase those chairs.
Here's the only thing, and Robbie, I don't think you're doing this, but I just want to make sure people aren't padding budgets in different ways and then just doing inner, kind of the transfers type thing.
No, that wasn't the case. I originally intended on buying that office furniture, but phone system went bad. And so we had a little bit left over in that rental because we didn't have to rent computers like we normally do. So.
What other questions? do you have?
What other question?
The other one I had is for health department, moving the copier machines, and it goes back to the same thing we just had with the clerk's office. Thank you.
I'm good.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
Wondered if you're going to catch that. So for this one, we had one of our large color copiers went down. We coordinated with IT and got their approval, and then made sure that they had a technician on site when it was delivered. So all approvals were made, but this was a larger copier that broke kind of mid-budget session.
So you went. So if I'm understanding correctly, you went through IT, but it's just coming out of your budget for now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's fair enough. It's a good answer.
Yeah, I saw it. Your head when you saw that.
Yeah.
Any further questions from the council? Any questions or comments from the public on these? Seeing none. Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We haven't had a motion yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd move to approve items 7R through Y.
Second.
so motion by Clark, seconded by Reed Sticker. Any further questions? All in favor, say, the question, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Transfers, not requiring a council action are on file in the auditor's office. And wants to look at those, can make arrangements with the auditor's office. Now, other business, Steve Olson. Have two ordinances we need to look at.
First are grant ordinances. Steve Olson, County Attorney. First is ordinance number CC 2025-22. Council, you're familiar with these. Every time we have a grant, we establish a new ordinance. This establishes the AEP Foundation Grant Fund for EMA departments. It is going to be the treasurer who serves as the custodian as always, the auditor who serves as the auditing agents. All expenditures will be used for the authorized grant purposes, and it's a non-reverting fund. Would you like me to go through all three grant ordinances and do them together?
Do them together.
All right.
This is what Jennifer was just talking about. Aren't they the same ones?
Yeah.
So the second one is your NIPSCO Safety Grant Fund for EMA Department. Same process. This one is going to be treasurer as your custodian, auditor as your auditing agent, will be fund number 9177. This is ordinance 2025-23, also non-reverting fund. The third one is the Norfolk Southern Safety First Grant Fund. This is ordinance number 2025-24, fund number 9178. Treasurer is your custodian, auditor is your auditing agent, also a non-reverting fund. That's all three of the grant ordinances identified under 8.1 A, B, and C.
I'll move to approve grant ordinances 1, A, B, and C.
Second. Doug and Randy?
Yeah.
Good. Any further questions for our attorney? Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Unanimous.
Next item on your agenda is the CVET FIT ordinance. CVET being the commercial vehicle excise tax and FIT being your financial institution tax. This is ordinance number CC 2025-25. This is established very similar to the grant fund program that you've seen before. But under House Enrolled Act 1392, we've been able to streamline the process for these two funds and be able to simplify them into a single fund so they can be used for all purposes. As such, this is establishing the CVET FIT County Distribution Fund, which is fund number 4932. Treasurer will serve as your custodian, auditor will be the auditing agent. All CVET and FIT funds, as distributed by the state, will be deposited into this new fund. All expenditures can be used for any purposes allowed by law and is a non-reverting fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Reed Sticker. Further questions or comments? Really doesn't change anything, just establishes a fund.
Streamlines the process for that money.
Under ordinance. Call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. None. Motion approved unanimously. Got, next one is interlocal agreement.
Yes, the next item on your agenda is consideration and approval of the interlocal agreement for reconstruction of the bridge on College Avenue Crossing and Horn Ditch. The city is delivering a federal aid roadway reconstruction project along College Avenue under NDOT contract. That includes the replacement of Elkhart County Bridge number 410 as a 100% locally funded component within the NDOT LEC contract. This is one of those opportunities where the city and the county were able to work together to streamline the process and get everything under one federal LEC contract. The city will be serving as the lead agency and designated local public agency coordinating with NDOT for the project. Recognizing that the county will be the designated county representative for purposes of the bridge itself and will be funding $2 million towards that as a part of the bid letting to occur on December 10, 2025. The appropriation process has already occurred for that, so we're now just back for the interlocal agreement, which was approved by the commissioners on Monday.
Move to approve. Second. Motion by Doug, second by Randy. Further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Motion carries. We're now down to audience items. We've got 6 people that have signed in. Some of them may have spoken already. First one is, Steve, help me on that.
Last name Riviera Arce? Sorry, yeah. Juliana? Okay.
Good evening. I just wanted to come here with our new library director for the Elkhart Public Library. I'm a board trustee. I was appointed by this board, by this council, sorry. So just kind of welcoming her to the county, and excited to all the new things that she will bring. So that's all.
Sorry for butchering your name.
No,
I
you're
blame
fine.
him for.
I'm unfortunately used to it, but no, you did great, Juliana. That's the first name.
Okay. And did Derek speak on the sheriff's one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Okay. Kristen Edson?
So I would be the executive director that Juliana was just speaking of. So Kristen Edson, I'm at 821 Elkhart, Thomas Street in Elkhart. I've been on the job now since October 1st. And I'm going around introducing myself in person to all of the appointing authorities of my board members. And I greatly appreciate the appointment of Juliana and Judge Rykoff. Their professionalism and knowledge has been very helpful over these last 6 weeks, and I look forward to continuing to work with them throughout their terms. And if any of you would like to spend some time getting to know me, that would be wonderful. I would be happy to set aside that time, seeing as how we do serve some of the same constituents. That's about it. And
welcome.
Thank you. It's been a great welcome. I do have to say that I've lived in 4 other states, and this is probably one of the best welcomes in the last 6 weeks from the people here in Elkhart, the city of Elkhart, and the county of Elkhart. So I appreciate it.
Who was your temporary executive director right before you came in?
Mary Beth Schlebach.
Mary Beth.
Yes.
I have a lot of respect for her. She's somebody that I adamantly disagree with on certain things and can do it in a very respectful way. I was very impressed at the dialogue that I was able to have with her on some issues. And yeah, it was impressive.
I do have a great team. And I know that, is it Mr. Graham, you are in Kiwanis with Kevin Kilmer, my director of branch services. I do have a great team.
Yeah, you do.
So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Kaiser.
Pam Kaiser, Middlebury. I'm here regarding the 2026 Elkhart County budget you adopted last month. For the record, the original advertised 2026 budget total was a little over 190 million. After all cuts you made during the budget hearing, the final adopted total became almost 180 million. The difference is almost 10.4 million. When I asked for the actual breakdowns of the 10.4 million in reductions, I learned something interesting. It appears 7 million was not cut at all. It was simply moved from the general fund to the lit special purpose fund. So my first question is, was the 7 million actually removed from county spending? Or was it just transferred to another fund under county control? Because if it was merely transferred, then the real reduction to the budget was closer to 3.3 million, not 10.4, and certainly not the more than 11 million that ABC 57 reported after your October meeting. On October 23rd, I emailed every council member asking for an explanation of the shift from one fund to another and why it was reported as a reduction. Yesterday, after waiting almost 4 weeks, the only response I received was from Councilman Hess. I appreciate that he got back with me. He said this could be a long discussion on the way we do budgets for local governments in Indiana. Due to the complexity of the issue, maybe a phone call would be easier than emails. In my return email, I asked that it be explained in writing or during today's public meeting. If it's a phone conversation, I'm the only one who benefits. However, if it's in writing or done here at the meeting, the entire county can be informed. Information brings transparency, and transparency brings accountability. This is an excellent opportunity for you to explain what happened to the $7 million. It appears that the $7 million was moved to the lit special purpose fund 1114-105. What specific projects or expenses are currently budgeted in the lit special purpose fund? If this lit fund required to go through is it required to go through the same budget hearing process as the general fund? If not, how does it differ? Will you grant me more time, please?
I will.
Okay. If not, how does it differ from a $7 million transfer? Is it, excuse me, if not, how does it differ from a $7 million transfer to a slush fund? The people of Elkhart County deserve to hear the answers to these questions. And I think, Mr. Hess, that you said we could discuss this at this meeting. Thank you.
So I don't know if others want to chime in on this, but I would just, first of all, lay out that the budget process, the way I look at it, is twofold. One is to essentially give authority for spending in the ensuing year. But the second part of it is essentially the levy and the rate on the property tax funds. And it sets the levy and the rate for the property tax billing for the ensuing year. So county government has money in funds in different silos. Some, now we have what, over 350 funds? Some with several $100s in, some with several 100,000 in, and then the major funds like general fund and edit and some of these kind of funds have millions of dollars on them. Where we made, when we did the budget, there wasn't sufficient dollars because you got to come in under the max levy. So we reduced the property tax portions, the general fund. And I think the bulk of this all went to personnel.
That was all we moved.
Yeah, that's why when you refer to it as a slush fund, I don't know, I would take exception to that because these are all positions that were advertised in the general fund. They were then moved to covering under the lit special purpose. So essentially, it wasn't that, I don't think you can say we're trying to not be transparent or that we're trying to hide anything. You need to get that general fund under the max levy. So we essentially reduced that general fund for those, and I don't know how many, couple hundred personnel. And mainly in the sheriff's, I think it were in the sheriff's department, correct? We took those
Jail.
positions and put those positions then under the lit special purpose, which, and these names, because SB one are also all changing. We had the public service lit, we had several other local option income tax. Now they're all being under the lit. So essentially that's what happened. Those positions were moved. So you're correct in the fact that the total amount of reduction was, what'd you say, 3.4 million or something like that?
The total that was said was 10.4, but this
It
7
was-
million was,
It was a reduction of that much in the property tax fund. But if you look at the overall, that was now moved, it was over here in the lit special purpose. So, so I guess I struggle with how you can make it more transparent. I don't think anybody would, I mean, there was major discussions during the day. People watching it.
That were recorded and posted on.
Yeah. I know at one time there were 30, 40 people that were watching. So I don't think anything was out of line there. But you have to get these property tax levies under that max levy. So in essence, that's what takes place. And I think that, for what we're up against, I think we did a pretty decent job.
I think what topped it for me was when I saw the ABC 57. I've never seen them here at a
Right.
meeting before. And they're touting, well, they said 11 million or close to 11 million. They're touting it like, I don't know who called them, but it's like it's making everybody think
Mhm.
that our county is really doing so well. And I know for me personally, it's if we have a budget at home and my husband and I decide that we're not going to spend, we're going to cut back on our spending, we cut back on our spending. We aren't moving it here, there, and everywhere. And I'd like to, if I may,
We're past the 3 minutes. Are we still going or?
We'll grant her a little more time because these are important discussions about transparency. I don't disagree with that.
thank you. During the budget session, there was a discussion, as you referred to, I listened to it, quite a bit of it. And the discussion was about cutting money from the general fund. And I want to just say what was said. Daryl Riekesecker said, hey, Patty, Sean said he could probably move 6 to 7 million then. Adam Bujowski said, yeah. Patty said, oh. Daryl Riekesecker said, out of. Tom Stump said, out of what? And there were lots of giggles. Daryl Riekesecker said, out of the general fund into the CATA. Then the audio trails off. Adam Bujowski said, yeah, that's huge. Daryl Riekesecker said, that helps a lot. Patty said, that's huge. Adam Wojcicki then said, that gets us where we need. That's 9 million then with what we did yesterday. And Tom said, okay. So I would like to repeat what was said in the first comment by Mr. Riesecker. He said, Sean said he could probably move 6 to 7 million. And I go back to this and I think, well, is this the same part of that 7 million that we're moving? And I'm interested in knowing who Sean is. Is he with Baker Tilly?
Sean's with the sheriff's department.
Sean's with the sheriff's department.
Yeah, and those are the positions from the
I
sheriff's
understand.
department that were then moved into the lit.
That makes more sense to me, but I didn't know who Sean was. And I have to tell you, I know the whole, the lit special purpose came up today. I tried to figure out what this 105 was. I had no idea. So I appreciate the clarification. But again, I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. This is, sometimes it's a lot of projection. You know, we're doing so well here, and we probably are doing well, but it was very deceptive to me, and I think it could have been handled a little bit differently. So thank you.
Yeah, I would also comment that it's pretty hard for us to control what gets reported by people who maybe never even come to the meetings.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, they said 11 million, then that was nowhere in the numbers,
right.
so I understand.
But we did make reductions, several million as we went through there. But then there was absolutely no way that we could put the budget together with that in the general fund. We had to move those positions, and so that's what we did.
Well, I appreciate the explanation. I hope you understand where I'm coming from with it. Thank you.
Ralph Spellbrink.
My name is Ralph Spellbrink. I live in the city of Elkhart. First, I'd like to point out that yesterday was the anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln delivering his Gettysburg Address. Money Magazine in the early 90s gave the property tax for a median priced house in Kalamazoo County is 5 times that of what it was in Elkhart County. So why was Elkhart so much lower? For one thing, the state sales tax was 5%. Michigan was 4%. We also either had a 1 or 1.25% local income tax to reduce the property taxes here in Elkhart County. This is the public notice that was in the Goshen paper. Representative Doug Miller sponsored a bill to do away with these legal notices. He pointed out that the full page in the Indianapolis Star is 200,000, but there are 1 million people in Marion County, so it's really nothing. I wanted to point out that a dozen Republican Indiana state senators voted no on Senate Bill 1 are to be commended. They are as follows: Alting of Lafayette, Bassler of Washington, Becker of Evansville, Ohocek of Michiana Shores, Buck of Kokomo, Carrasco of Indy, Deary of West Lafayette, Dearnate of Highland, Freeman of Indy, Thomas of Evansville, Young of Indy, and Zay of Huntington. Homeowners exemption in 2024 was $48,000. Increasing that to $48,000 would have provided tax relief to many Hoosiers. Certainly that have been simpler than a bill of almost 400 pages. My name is Ralph Spellbrink, 236 Bank Elkhart, 46516.
Thank you, Ralph. Last but not least, Glenn Knoll. We saved the best for last.
I just got here late.
Well,
I actually forgot about him too. Going through the calendar. Set up appointments.
Is that a paper calendar or phone calendar?
Both. Gotta have. Glendale Goshen. First was, I'm gonna remind the council to enforce the rules across the board. I don't care if you're a political, if you've been elected to office or not, you still give your name what your job is. A couple people forgot to do that.
That's right.
You know, straight out and out. You know, last I knew, they pull their panties up one leg at a time like I do. Probably a little quicker. So I'm letting you know that you guys are the only political meeting that I'm allowed to come to now. Because basically you don't do anything too stupid to rile my heart. So consider that to be a blessing.
What a compliment.
Well, it is.
It is, but it's just a funny.
It hurts me that I can't go bitch it at other people. So,
Your wife actually told me she didn't want you coming to this meeting too, and I ran into her the other day.
oh, I don't doubt that either, but that's, you know,
I gave her $100 to tell you to stay home, but it doesn't work.
you should have gave her more. So in the last couple of weeks, somebody actually sent me the clip from the commissioners meeting, and I'm gonna read it the way I wrote it down. Some butch haircutted leftist. Okay, I'll leave that word out. Complained that I was one of them. You know, the question was, where's the guy that complained about the sidewalk chalk? And then complained that the county commissioners actually passed the ordinance against it. I took offense. It's nothing you guys can really do about some of this. I did take offense that she indicated that I was a troublemaker and has never done anything for this community. Now, if you feel that way, let me know and I'll cut this meeting out 100% too, but I won't do it in a friendly way. But I look back at, if nothing else, I hold politicians' feet to the fire. What you say, you better do, because if you don't, I'm going to call you out on it, straight out and out. And I think we need more citizens like that. The fact that I served on the school board doesn't mean diddly squat. I was with Boy Scouts. I ran for different offices. I try to volunteer where I can. And obviously it comes across to some people in this community that I'm a worthless piece of. So in saying that, I would have hoped the commissioners would have said something, but they very seldom say anything back. I am glad to see that we actually have ordinances that do protect the courthouse. I can remember back in the 80s and 90s when the peaceniks from the college went down there, candlelit, and I don't know how much wax was dumped onto the sidewalks and on the grass. But they didn't get close to the memorial because I was standing there saying, get away. So I'm saying, you guys do your job and I don't have to come up here and bitch. I think that's a good, you screw up, I'm going to. Thank you.
thank you, Glenn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned by Doug, second by Steve.
Glenn,
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, motion
He's got something
carries.
for you. Hey, Mr. Attorney, Mr. Clark signed all his stuff in black.
Yeah, I know. He's a dissident.
Watch this.
I didn't sign.